Oh yeah. Yeah, it says live.
Yeah, we are live.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.
All right.
Hi, everyone. So good to be here. So I would wanted to, before we dive deep into dismantling the topics we set out to talk about with Austin, I wanted to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me, and introduce Austin as well. So I'm Iryna, and I am a leader of this group. I created this group, the men's group, a year ago. I believe it was in August of last year, with the intention of supporting men in the realms of sexuality, intimacy, relationship, dating, and just sexual health. As that is what I'm doing. I am a sexuality and intimacy coach, and specifically focus on working and empowering men in this realm. And yeah, so men in the group have been sharing and posting resources or questions or their own experiences about certain things. All of it is welcome. And for those of you who are new to this group and to me, I'm just encouraging you to pop up once in a while and post a question if you have any for me or for any of the men in the group. And Austin is a great friend who I've known for a really long time, and he's also a great supporter of mine and a member of this group, and is an advocate for men's work through a Mankind Project, and also a Tai Chi and Qigong practitioner and a Reiki healer, and has been doing it for quite a long time. I believe you have your own practice. And so I wanted to talk to Austin about his experience of what it's like to be masterful in the realm of sexuality, what it's like to transmute sexual energy into spiritual energy, or maybe like, you know, so you can gain more consciousness, so to speak. So yeah, and in this little 1 hour video chat, this live, we're going to chat about how to transmute your sexual energy, how to experience full body orgasms, because there's so many. In my own coaching practice, this is what a lot of men are so curious about, and how to perhaps separate orgasmic sensations from ejaculation, and how to cure or heal these challenges that a lot of men are going through. Erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation. These are the things, you know, that create anxiety in performance for a lot of men. And I have clients who come to me with this, and I am so deeply feeling so compassionate about it, because this is where a man's power is. And when a man isn't fully at his potential sexually, he loses his confidence, he loses his ability to really feel as a masculine powerful human. So Austin, would you like to add something to that, and maybe say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, yeah, thanks. So much comes to mind just hearing you speak again. And everything like reminds me of my own journey and all the different steps along the way. Um, so when I first started my journey into energy work and more holistic health in general was through Tai Chi. And I went from martial arts and really honoring and honing that mature sacred masculine warrior, and now bringing like this softness from Tai Chi and moving slow and flowing with energy. And so just through that, it was always about this balance of linking up and integrating our inner masculine, inner feminine. And the more we can go deeply into that, the more we can really hone that inner masculine, especially. And then especially when it comes to sex, the more that we'll be able to connect to our partner and connect to our own bodies and our own sexual energy. So what Tai Chi did for me was really start building up more energy and more chi and awakening up these new pathways in my body. And, I can even remember when I first started doing Tai Chi, there was a guy who was like 65 years old and he had left for a while and he came back. And, we joked around, but he asked like why he came back. He says, oh, my wife likes when I come here and I work out. And so we're training all this really deep, powerful energy inside of our bodies. And it was making him maintain an erection again and get hard for his wife. And so, when we work out, when we take care of ourselves, when we cultivate ourselves, we're helping our lover and we're helping our women raise up too.
Yeah. What would you recommend for men who are not practicing Tai Chi or Qigong, and it's kind of like not something that they want to engage themselves into? Is there like an easier way to get more embodied and like a faster way?
Yeah, for me, that was my gateway into it. And since then, I've gotten into a lot more of just general breathing exercises. It could be yoga, it could be dance, like really conscious dance, anything that's bringing us into our bodies. And that's not woo woo or new age at all. That's just like, this is our embodied experience. And when we were like tribal men in generations, like we were warriors, like we were connected to the earth, whether it was indigenous people around the world. So we had this more embodied experience. And the more we can do that, the more we can listen to our heart. We can feel our feet on the ground. We can feel what our penis, what our balls are saying to us and what they're communicating to us. And all of that is just going to help us get out of our head, get deeper in touch with ourselves, with our breath, and then get in touch with our partner in front of us too.
So essentially, you're saying that a lot of men in our world are so, like in our urban world, so disconnected from their, like from the earthy resources, that they have all their energies in their head and zero in their down in their pelvis. Is that what you can describe it?
Yeah,
how you can describe
exactly.
it?
Yeah, and we grew up wanting to be, what's it mean to be a man, or what's the right thing to do, and we were conditioned, where we were always in our head in this more intellectual society to go to school, do good in school, get a good job, do that good job, and keep working and providing. And so we got really disconnected from our sexuality. That was repressed through a lot of religions. And but it's just that it's this, we're right here. This is our body right here, and this is where all of this powerful furnace is right here inside of us, all this energy that we can connect to. And
cool.
Yeah, it's like when we want to connect to women now too, we start creating all these stories from our head, like, oh, if I'm tall and I'm strong and I make a lot of money and I have the right car and all these right things, then maybe that will get me love, or that will get me sex. And we have to let go of all that stuff and really be present, because I think what a woman wants, tell me what a woman wants, I think, is our presence.
Indeed so. That's what I've been coaching my men on. If there's one thing that you're going to learn out of our work together, it's presence. And that will be, my job will be done here. Like, that would be the best that I would want for you, just to really train the muscle of presence. So when for someone who is like not really familiar with all these embodiment concepts, like all these languaging that we're using, like how would you describe presence? What is it? Did I feel what it is? What is it to you as a man, like in a man's language for other men in the group who are listening?
Yeah. I think presence can be simple. Like presence can really be this single-minded focus that like what's right in front of me is who I'm with right now.
Yeah.
And as guys, we get that when if we're grinding at work, or back in the day, if we were warriors, we had to go on a hunt, like we had to be super focused.
Yeah.
And so to do that with the lover in front of us, it's an aspect of like really being grounded in our legs and our feet and our thighs and our pelvic floor, and really feeling that strength underneath us. And then really from that space of intensity.
I'm sorry,
like,
I might,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I might have a little bit of like response in my body to what you're describing. So, so that's okay. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's real. It's great. And so I just love that, especially for women who are in touch with their sensuality and their femininity. Like they'll feel that. They'll feel that through us.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So be connected to that deep strength. And then and then you want to be the rock. You want to just be quiet, and like you can abide in that space. No matter what happens, no matter what gets thrown at you, like you can be right there. And from there the heart can open up and all these things can open up. But when we don't react and go crazy, then we allow the woman to really expand in her femininity and blossom, and all these things to open up. So it creates this circuit. And yeah.
Cool. Nice. So it's like, for me, it felt like this unwavering, centered pillar, like energy that, yeah, that is rooted from me experiencing man as someone who lives in his pelvis, someone who lives in his body, someone who who's really who is slow in his movements and also very intentional. It's like, again, if you look at like Tai Chi or Qigong practitioners, it's like that, but they operate from the yin energy that's within them, right? That's their force.
Yeah.
And so, and then when I listen to that man, or he listens to me and he's so present, I feel really seen. Like my everything flows from me, through me, if I have his 100% his attention on me, and not like him thinking, oh my God, like, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I like this? Am I that? Like, I could catch that subconsciously. And then, yeah, like I feel really seen when man just there. He doesn't even have to say things. He's just there.
Right. Yeah. 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 No, I love that. It's, when if there's something that wants to trigger me or that comes in front of me, like, can I step into that space and like face the person in front of me? Whether it's conflict or whether it's just a lover in front of us who's vulnerable and nervous and wants to open up, and can I really say, like, I'm here and I've got you, and I can hold you.
Yeah.
And if I could hold a child, like if I can hold that space from like just pure gentleness and I can be gentle because of my confidence, because of my strength.
Yeah.
And so if I can hold that, then I can receive it. I can, so yeah, then I can really feel what they're going through and feel it in myself and understand it without letting myself waver from that pillar. And that's the masculine, like that's the pillar in our body, and that's the hardness on our body, and that's the energy of the safety that we can create.
Yeah. Nice. My question for you would be full body orgasm.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to, like a lot of men who come to me, they get hooked on that, like that they can learn full body orgasm, because what ultimately men are looking for, like a lot of men, and I'm just like so appreciating that about men, that they want to last in bed because they really want to pleasure their partners. They want to give their partners multiple orgasms. And so they go through hoops. They come to me. They were like willing to go through, you know, and discomfort because they want to learn how to last longer.
Yeah.
And so what do you recommend? What's your take on that?
Yeah. You know, my dream with that was the same thing. It was amazing. I wanted to be this masterful lover, and I had heard about these things. Even like I remember my roommate in college when I was 18, like had a book on that, and I was like, "What's this all about? How does that even make sense?" And so the thing is, we, as men, especially from the moment we became sexually active, you know, we learned to couple our orgasm and the feeling of orgasm with ejaculation and release. And so the whole process of becoming multi-orgasmic is learning how to just separate those things, recognize that we can have this energy in us and these pleasurable feelings, and it doesn't have to go out that one route. So instead of it going down and out the way that we know how, when we feel all that build up in us and the heat rising and the shortness of breath, again, learn how to like, right, you know, that energy of orgasm is the sympathetic response. It's all your adrenaline pumping and everything. And what we want to do is shift to parasympathetic and really be able to breathe in that moment. And that's the same breath as the holding space, and the same breath is just softening. When we can do that, we can slow down and we can start to pay more attention. We can start to feel what's going on in our lingam and our penis and our balls and everything, and start to work with that. And so the big opening for me was learning how to just pull that up to my heart. And it sounds more, am I pulling and where and how am I breathing? But just the invitation is that it's right there. And if you keep doing your yoga or your qigong or your breathing practices, you can develop this pathway that allows energy to move in different directions than just one way. We always know how. And so so that's it.
So
Just from the, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So I'm hearing you saying that connecting to that energy in pelvis and then redirecting it to your heart and maybe other parts of your body will help to actually not to last longer. And also the other part you mentioned, learning how to separate ejaculations from climax, from orgasmic sensations, which is really foreign to a lot of men, because a lot of men, they associate ejaculation with orgasm. And so that is like learning how to fall back into your orgasm instead of like leaning towards your ejaculation, right?
Yeah. It's a good analogy.
And so how long does it take for a man to get to that place? Like months and months, years? Like, how often does he need to practice on his own or with his partner?
Yeah, well, for the question of practice, it's something we do for ourselves first. You know, so if we're single or with a partner, like we can just do that for ourselves through our own self-pleasure practice, and just learning how to get in touch with ourselves, because it's not our partner's responsibility to take care of our needs. Like, let's learn how to take care of ourselves first and then bring that together next time. So yeah, with self-pleasure, you know, and that breathing into the heart, what that is it's redirecting energy up and breathing it up. And so for me, it took it took a while. It took years of hearing about these different things and thinking, well, I'm not supposed to ejaculate, so let me force myself not to, and let me try that for a while. or I heard that it's possible because of all this energy stuff, but what do I do? So it was years of energy work before I even thought to try to know how to associate with the sexuality. I knew they were connected. And then what happened was when I was with a lover one time and she just invited me to breathe into my heart for the first time, it was right there. All the foundation had been laid, and then the channel was just open. And so it's like, it's like you don't even know these like secret gateways into our body are right there the whole time as we develop them. And so give yourself permission just to open up your mind, open up your body to think that way, to soften, relax, and feel that way. And you'll start maybe start seeing these channels already there and created. If you've been doing this for a while, like I had been. And then maybe just requires different practices just to create these building blocks of this system in your body. And once it was right there, I just felt all these waves of euphoria and spasm and movement all happening, and it was right there. And I was able to stay erect all of a sudden, while also just calming down a little bit. And then there was a balance and a flow. And especially if you're heterosexual, if you're with a woman, the whole story is that like men are so are so quick and women can just last forever. So as a man, to be able to really just withdraw, breathe, feel what they're feeling, circulate it through your crown, through your whole body, and then let the woman just be able to keep flowing, keep doing your thing, and enjoying yourself. It opens up a lot. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So it sounds like also when I'm hearing what you're saying and like I'm relating to my own experience working with men, it's important to have the right conditions for that experience to happen, like safety, emotional safety with that partner, because that lasting longer experience is not a one-time situation. It's a practice. And so non-judgmental woman who's not going to take that upon herself, like that it is, all about her, that's like very helpful.
Yeah.
And also it's the understanding of your body and how the like energy might circulate, even though initially you don't feel it. You don't feel that the energy tingles in the back of your body. Like I didn't feel it when I started this work. I thought that was some bullshit, but I kept doing it because I trusted that this is, okay, time when I bring my awareness to that part of my body over and over and over and over and over again, even if I don't feel anything, I eventually expand my pathways. Right. And so that is another like suggestion to the men who are listening, like, don't get discouraged if you don't feel anything. Like continue with the practice, your own self practice, day after day after day. Really, like there needs to be a huge motivation why you're doing it, right? Because it's really easy to fall off the wagon and just go about your day and orgasm in a similar fashion as you've been doing it for years. Nothing wrong with that. But if you really are in a place of, okay, I want to learn how to like use sexual energy to serve me to the best in like my other like aspects of my life, and be that embodied men, then I gotta like commit, show up, and do the work. So it's also like that's what I also like work with men on, how can we keep the motivation going, and how can like our old patterns and subconscious beliefs influence like us falling back into like I'm gonna drift and I'm gonna do anything.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm listening right now the book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
I was gonna say that. Yep.
It's such a fantastic read. I'm just so blown away. So For any of the men listening, please pick up that piece of literature. It's been written in 1930s and only published in 2011. And it's mind-blowing what it describes is real in our world right now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No.
just diverted from the topic, but talking about how men and women can drift in their lives without using their whole potential, and sexuality is one of that piece that gets you that aliveness to keep going in life.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, to build off of that, it was, I forget if it was Napoleon Hill or The Laws of Power, but yeah, what they were saying there was all the successful people, they really learned how to master their sexual energy. And this was, like you said, like 1930s, and who even knows what that meant back in, you know, that very Christian American type of society. But they already knew, like, that was this big force in us. And so if we can take that and bring it for our lives, then we can suddenly have so much more energy to be on mission, to be on our life purpose, to get things done. And
to think independently, not to be like, you know, a cow following you know, people. That was in Think and Grow Rich, that another Napoleon Hill's book, where he talks about sexual energy transmutation. And it's
there you go.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah, and I was gonna say with the multi-orgasmic stuff also is like, I had different blocks along the way. I had an ex-girlfriend who didn't understand it at all and tried to be open, but you know, again, having that safe environment, having a partner who understands what we're doing. But yeah, I think every woman wants a man who's deeply in his pleasure and is there to support the woman being in her pleasure more deeply. So having the right to work with is amazing. And also, I had a block around pleasure and what pleasure is, because I always associated pleasure with just ejaculation, and I didn't realize that that's like the Taoist ways, like what's kind of hidden. And when we go into this mystery, this dark place, or this new pathway I never heard before, going to my body, and what does that even mean? That it's going to create something new. So it created a whole new spectrum of pleasure. And I wasn't letting go of anything, but it was trust, it was consistency, and it was allowing myself to be open in my mind and in my body and everything, or else we don't know what we're missing out on. And you asked like how long this can take. Yeah, consistent practice, of course, but the fun idea that happened to me that I like is it was in me all along. I practiced for so long and I struggled and I was off and on, until the one day where I just tried something new and it was right there and I could do it over and over again immediately. And it's like wax on, wax off. Who would have thought it was right there? But let yourself try something new and be open. And because whatever you're doing before, it only got you to where you were at. But maybe this one new thing will it'll be all it takes to create a whole new change in your life.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. A question for you. I was just thinking, how does it feel in your body to experience full body energy orgasm? What do you experience? I'm just curious.
Yeah. The first thing that happened was it was just like kind of like physical contractions. It was like through my shoulders and chest and whole body. And I could feel this like pulsing. And then as I like kind of refined it more, it was getting more, like you said, like that energy busting, like that tingling, these sensations. And like feel that all throughout. And yeah, we might not know it's there, but like it's being consistent and building that, and then stepping back, letting go, letting ourselves surrender deeper, like really be in that yin space of letting go and just seeing what comes up, and like letting things come up as they come up, whether it's emotions, feelings, might get sensations and buzzing, and yeah, when I can really let myself float in that space, then that's when like more magic comes up. And so then if you're on the spiritual path and your partner is spiritual too, like that creates all these crazy interminglings of all these feelings. You can feel each other. Yeah, it can be feel like you're on a psychological dream. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like entering altered state. And you don't have to be spiritual,
Yeah.
right? Like the majority of the people in this group are not practicing deeply Tantra and Tao. And I also advocate for men who are not in the spiritual realm. I want to bring that magic to other men, to like men who have 9-to-5 jobs, who are professionals, you know, who like, but who are curious. There's a possibility, you know, of, you know, being someplace else.
Yeah. And
And
we
that
don't have.
curiosity is golden.
Yeah. That's it. Just being curious, being a sensitive and tender lover with the woman in front of you, and just like listening and letting her have her experience. And you're just there. Yeah. And the more that you're just like a man, whether that's like that aggressive, like I just want to take you and ravage you, like there's awesome. That's like, there's energy for that. And there's energy just to like be really still and with her while she's or he's going through that experience and letting that flow.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we can access all these parts of intimacy and lovemaking, we can use our fire that's in us in different ways. And it's just that feel, it's that raw feeling that every man knows that we have with us. It's like our innate ability, and it's right here. And yeah.
Nice. Okay, let me see if we have any questions. Okay, let me see if we have any questions. I'm looking from my phone to people. Yeah, there are no questions, but please post your questions, and we will address them at the very end.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about ED and PE, which is erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation. This is like people who are really young experience it, and I know from my own experience, coaching men, you know, a lot of men come to me with that challenge, and age doesn't matter. Actually, men who are really young in their 30s come to me, and men who are like in their 50s and 60s come to me.
Yeah. Same here. I was young and I experienced both. And yeah, so I was there to learn from and to grow with. In either case, I think the biggest thing is like getting out of our head again. And so in both cases, I have to just listen to my body deeper. So, you know, with premature ejaculation, I remember like being like, you know, a kid, like 14, and like not even being sexually active with anyone, and just knowing like, oh wait, to be a good lover, like I was already kind of like being a little more selfless and mindful of the woman, like, oh, I need to be able to last longer. And so that was like kind of rewiring our sexuality to let go of porn, let go of the stimulus, just to see something and react, and really train ourselves through self-pleasure to slow down, again, slowing down, like really breathe. And like, it's just like building a muscle. Like we can build a muscle to have more endurance, like holding a smaller weight, or to push a bigger one. So what we're doing with premature ejaculation is on a physical level, and whatever you call it, energy, hormones, it's all connected. We're just creating this muscle that can hold that energy in that muscle a little bit longer. So that'll be through, you know, like the physical exercises I'm sure that you teach for the pelvic floor, through breathing, and really just getting used to sensation, letting ourselves feel pleasure and feel bliss and feel that sensation without having to just lose it. And so don't tell. Yeah. There's the analogy from one of my teachers was that sex is like, it can be like painful for men because we have all this and we just want to get it out to release this pain. And so if we can really like be with that feeling and then breathe with it and move it and hold it, it'll shift a lot. And
it's beautiful.
yeah. And then for ED, for erectile dysfunction, there's so many things. Sometimes it's, I do, and I teach a lot of practices to really get in touch with our masculine power and really harness that fire and like, really like get that growling power. And I would do that. Like I would channel that and be like, oh, like, this woman in front of me is just so gorgeous. I just want to have her. And just that using and harnessing the mind to change the body to create that sympathetic energy, or actually it's old parasympathetic, but it's slowing down while also having this fire and this buildup. And when we can get in touch with our pelvic floor, our thighs, our feet, that grounding, like that's where once we're like grounded down, like that's where all this energy and fire can come up and out through us to build up.
Yeah. Live in your pelvis, gentlemen. Because we women want you to fuck us, ravish us, but not like, but with a full-on presence.
Yeah. And like the joke with all like the weightlifter guys is like that guys who like will weightlift heavy, like never do leg day. Like we're always focused on like, from the head, we're focused on our shoulders and biceps and chest, but the legs is where it's at. And that's like the martial arts. That's the old school way that the monks trained. And there's all that power in there and we can bring that up. It's going to connect, that groin is right in between. So that's that whole area physiologically is going to open up. It's going to have more blood flow, more circulation. And from there, it's, all those ligaments and tendons are going to activate too.
This is brilliant. This is great advice. And so for men who are like more on, who live up here, is there any particular like exact maybe physical exercise you would suggest, or like an inner practice that they can do, or whatever it is?
Yeah, through meditation, we can access that and really feel how we're sitting and actually drop our consciousness down into, let me focus on my feet, breathe into my feet, focus on my pelvis, breathe into that area, and just observe what sensations are happening. And that's getting into the mind and the that meditative side, which works. And then also the other half, because we can work from both ends, body and mind, is I love like, whether you call it dance, but I call like stomping and grounding, like just kind of jumping down. Like there's this really powerful, very warrior, old school tribal masculine thing that our feet are hitting the ground, and as our feet hit the ground, we can bounce a little bit and let our sexual organs just like kind of bounce and flow with that. Like, that's just within our blood and bones and our genes, from dancing around the fire or having like a war cry before battle. All those things are opening up all this stuff. So it's not just like,
And work out your legs in the gym.
So work out the legs, the squats. Like in martial arts, it's like the horse stance. All those things are going to do it. And so, let me bring in like weightlifting and squats to bring power there. And then also like bring in some kind of like stomping dance to flow and move it too. So not just like, it's strong, but it's also not stagnant. There's flow, there's the ability to.
There's like a yin and yang should be both developed. Beautiful.
And
okay.
I was going to say, like, the other side of ED, on the other side of the spectrum, is letting go of all of our stories around it and not having shame around it. And especially if you're with a partner who like really understands, like, okay, so if you're soft right now, like that's okay. Let's find, let's like listen to my body instead of thinking, oh, I'm supposed to be hard, I'm supposed to, and creating all these shoulds. The more we're in our head, the more we're just gonna self-sabotage. So let me slow down, let me accept where I'm at, let me find other ways of intimacy, other ways to connect, to flow,
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
myself permission. And
Yeah.
then, and from that space, like, yeah, like, we've got all night, there's no rush, there's no goal to achieve. I'm not going to screw up. I'm not going to make my lover unsatisfied. I'm going to keep being with her. We're going to enjoy ourselves, slow down. And once we can breathe and relax, then the erection can come back again. And even if it doesn't, like, we can actually still, like, the softness in the penis or the softness in the leg, we can actually even like use that too. And I've had beautiful lovemaking when I wasn't erect, and the woman was having an amazing, this electrical orgasmic experience, which
Yes.
yeah.
I can relate. I mean, we women are not really obsessed with penetration and, like hardcore penises inside of us. Like I love the intimacy part, the sensuality part, the massage part, like how present you are with me in this moment, like the eye gazing, like the breathing, that like the vulnerability of this whole thing, and you owning your soft one as much as you own your hard one. Like men walk around flaccid for me like 90% of the time. And so, right, like owning that part of you, loving that part of you, is that what really matters? And yeah, like if you're soft, it's okay. Your penis has an intelligence of his own. It's the way it is right now in this moment. This is how the energy flows. Accept the fact that it's there. And then once you accept that and there is ease about it, and the woman is there just like playing with its soft one or whatever, however she wants to do it, for herself, like the erection will come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah. And again, if you keep doing the work into Tantra or Taoist practices, then the energy's still there. It's flowing. It's potent. It's like, even working with that, like that's the irony, like talk about like the yin and the slow and the stillness. Even when we're like, we could be soft and still, but while we're inside and we're connected to the woman, it's like putting a plug into like a light socket. The electricity can flow, and we can, it's nothing, and it's nothing crazy. It's like when we do this practice and do this breathing, things just happen like that. And who would have thought? And again, it's not about having to ravage in that moment. If I know where I'm at, then let the magic happen, and like, let's be with it. And then when things come back, then they come back.
Yeah. One of my lovers actually in the past was telling me, like, let me tune into you. So in the first 20 minutes, that really happens when a man finds like a woman's plug, right? Like energetically.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's much easier to flow. So in the first 20 minutes, that's where everything, like a lot of people have sex for about 20 minutes. So the whole penetration happens for 20 minutes, but it's possible for longer. So like, let this whole thing be soft and easy and slow. And you kind of like as a man, take charge, because there's some women, I'm like that. I might like move certain way, or like, because I come as like really, I could be overwhelming with my fiery energy, and I could just like let's do it. I'm so passionate. And the man I'm with, he might just get like, oh, that's it. And it's over.
Yeah.
So just like, take the ownership, the control of the whole like situation and ease it into it. And sorry, maybe ask her to also be like soften, you know. And then after 20 minutes, things are gonna be like, whoo, they're gonna flow, 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 because two people are like already super connected.
Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
I know you wanted to, do you have anything else to add? Because I know you wanted to guide us through a practice. I think it's whatever practice that is, the heart connection practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just to add to that, I think, the place where we don't, especially because we're men, we think in this more linear, direct, goal-oriented masculine energy. It's just like what you said. Let me learn to get out of that space and learn to slow down, learn to be present, learn to feel. And while I'm in control, like let me take that time to like guide my lover safely and slowly through that. Let her feel comfortable, like let her feel slowing down to open up and breathe with her and be with her. And so that's like the power. That's like, it's not the typical masculine where we think it's like has to be so direct. It's actually, there's a lot of presence and power there in the masculine, but it's also using it in a different way. And so that's like that's like really the trick, is to really just flip everything on its head and hold these two polarities. And when we can start to embody that, that's what will happen. So even though we're talking about like sexuality and how to really ravage and make love deeply, like the meditation I wanted to give is really connecting to the heart, because within that, it's going to be bringing this love and presence to ourselves. And and the hidden thing through there, it's going to help us with so many things, whether it's how we judge and shame ourselves, stay in our head, but also really like where the circuitry is and where these things are. It's going to be how we connect, when we're making love, the heart to heart right in front of us. And
yeah. And to add to that, men who want to have a deeper connection to their sexuality have to really drop into their vulnerability and emotional body. Like, learn how to be with their sadness and pain and anger and pleasure and desire and like all of that spectrum. So it unblocks, stagnations in the energy body for the for the free flow to happen and for penis to work.
yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I want to bring in to this guided meditation, is how to address all of those things so we can be that heart-centered rock of masculine stillness.
Cool. So you're ready to lead us through a meditation?
Sure.
Okay.
So getting comfortable, however you need. If you can, sit upright, hands down on your knees, feet on the ground. And just taking in everything that was said today, just knowing that it's all within you. All that information is being received and integrated. So you can let go of all that right now. Let go of all the thoughts. Nowhere else to be, nothing to think about. And as you take a couple deep breaths in and out, feeling the pleasurable sensations around you. Feeling the support and grounding of the floor below you. Feeling the heaviness, the strength of your chair where you're sitting. Feeling how your skin touches it. Taking a breath, maybe feeling your hands on your legs, feeling the sensations of your hands, the skin. Maybe if they tickle, If they're strong or hard or soft. And as you breathe, feeling the air come through your nose, into your lungs. So dropping your consciousness down into your body, following that air down through your nose, down your esophagus to your lungs. Feel how it expands you, contracts. Feel how the pressure builds and expands. We're paying attention. We're getting into our bodies, into this temple of our bodies, and coming back home. The space that's always with us anytime we choose. And now as you carry your breath down through your lungs, carry it all the way down to your feet. And as you breathe in and out, imagine that you're breathing in and out through your feet. The soles of your feet expanding and contracting as you breathe in and out. Connect to the earth below you. And traditionally the earth, the ground, that's our feminine energy. So once we connect to the earth right here, we start to connect it within ourselves. And as you breathe, inhaling and exhaling, coming up through the feet to the pelvis, deep into your belly. Feeling your groin, your sexual organs, just paying attention to them. See how they feel right now. Just observe what they're asking for, what they want. And just welcoming all of that in. As you take a breath, feeling within, deep down within your belly is a fire. This beautiful, quiet, soft, blazing fire. And with your mind's eye dropping down in, just observing and seeing it, feeling it. Feeling how it builds, how it flows, how it connects to your sexual organs. And knowing that space of your masculine power is always there for you to connect to and learn from. And now while the fire stays down below in your belly, as you breathe, start to rise back up to your heart. And you'll find and look for a central channel connecting to your heart. It can be like a magnetic pole, like a lightning rod, like a pathway. And filling this channel with a white light as it comes up to the heart. Gentle, soft white light. And as you reach the heart, taking a breath in here. And as you breathe in, feeling white light, fill that space in your heart. It's like a big white glowing ball of soft energy. This is our place of love in our body, compassion, connection with the world, with ourselves, our friends and family, with our partners. So now listening to the heart. We're in this chamber. What does this space need? All the emotions that we carried here, our anger, our fear, our sadness, and our joy. Welcoming in all those things, shame, judgment. This white space is like our own little mini furnace to change all these things we've been carrying here. So imagine clearing that space out, like an old house with all these things stored in it that you no longer need. Feel even more white light coming in, down through your body, coming down from above the crown of your head, coming from below, from the earth. And it's going to fill up this white space in our heart and wash away all these things that no longer serve us. Letting go of all these attachments. Who made me mad? Who made me sad? Even letting go of who made me happy. We can feel all these things and just really enjoy and appreciate them because they're connecting us back to this space right now. So feeling the white light wash away and clean this space. Maybe it's like water washing away those boxes out of the house, out the door, cleaning the walls, cleaning the floor, cleaning the ceiling. And with each exhale, letting all those things wash away. Carried away out the crown of our head, carried away and dropping out through our feet, carried away through our breath. Pumping in more love, more compassion, more positivity to our heart space. And as more flows in, flows down through our shoulders, our neck, relaxing our shoulders and neck, down through our elbows and hands, washing down from the crown of our head, down through our brain, down through our chest. This love and softness and white flowing energy flowing down through our heart, our stomach, our pelvis, letting it connect with that fire that we tapped into, sealing that connection, and all the way back down through our knees and our feet, so we're filled up with this space. And now residing in the heart, know that there's this deep place of love and peace, quiet, stillness, this tender, sensitive, masculine power that's within us. We can bring our energy back here anytime. In our lovemaking, in our presence, when we're having a hard day. It becomes a central point to connect us back to ourselves, to our partner. And just feeling full kindness, full love, full acceptance for yourself, full compassion. Invitations to slow down whenever you want, whenever you need. There's nowhere to be, there's no place to go. I can just be present with myself here, present with my partner here, present with my sexual energy here. I can spread this through all parts of my body and out. So now dropping energy back down. knowing that's always there for us, coming back to from the heart down to our groin, our pelvic floor, down to feel our butt sitting on our seat, our feet sitting in our chair, our feet on the floor, I should say. Hands on our thighs, shaking your shoulders, twisting your neck, your toes. Just coming back to this space, this time. Slowly opening your eyes.
So good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel so in my heart right now. And with that, let me see if we have any questions. Everybody's appreciating. Thank you. Helpful experience on this, but I won't want this. In what ways has your Tantra knowledge changed the way you pleasure a woman with oral sex?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah. Yeah, like in Tantra, they'll call it like the yoni, and they'll talk about like devotion and worship.
Yeah,
And
yoni is pussy, by the way.
yeah, so just like savoring and honoring that pussy, like just
worshiping.
worshiping, and it's just giving that woman like to set her up to feel comfortable, to create a space for her just to really soften and relax, and just have all your intention focused on her and her pleasure in that moment. And it's like a feedback. So she's getting her pleasure, but you're getting pleasure just by enjoying her pleasure as well and feeling that and sharing that. And so, yeah, let yourself really give permission to feel all in and give yourself to that. And she'll feel that. She'll feel how much you're loving up on her, how much you're paying attention to all those parts. So it's not just techniques. It's not just, I'm doing this to make her happy. There's going to be a connection to you, and she's going to really feel that, and she'll respond in so many ways.
There are women who do not like oral. So is there anything in particular you would do or say for them to like ease into it and be curious that this can be super pleasurable?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really having the conversation beforehand too.
Yeah.
You know, because really have to feel safe. It's really vulnerable to have that part of you see, like there's someone's faces right up in front of there.
Yeah.
It's a lot because it's like, it's an opening. So
yeah,
you have to allow something in. So yeah, the invitation can be, I really want to take care of you. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel safe with me.
Yeah.
Is this something we can try and just like to play with, to enjoy? And all we can do as the masculine is like, you know, give our intentions and state like, hey, this is what I would love to do to you. I'd love to offer this to you. And really come with like, again, like that heart space love, that sex, that kind of like sexy love, and allow the woman to open up. And we also have to surrender and let go, because it can't be any pressure. Any pressure, oh, I want to do this. This is for your own good. It's never gonna work.
Yeah. And as a woman, I could say that there's a lot of conditioning around it for women, like, oh, I smell bad, or I take too long, and you know, I don't want you to like, you know, be there for 40 minutes sweating, right? You know, I take too long, I smell, whatever it is, like, or you know, there's like certain discomfort that men and women, of course, carry around receiving more pleasure. And so having that honest and open conversation, it's like, what is it that really, you know, would make you feel safe to open up? What can I do for you? And just listen what she says. And it might not happen in the very beginning. But eventually, if you start acting consistently as a man, showing up with your heart, you know, showing her elsewhere, maybe in life, in partnership, where you can hold that safe space, she will be able to drop in.
Yeah, consistency is key. Like just being present, dropping in, and
Yeah.
we have to get this goal-oriented mindset with guys, even with me too. Like, you know, oh, did you orgasm? Did you orgasm once or twice, 3 times? Like, we always want to achieve, and we want to know everything because we want to be better. We want to grow and support, but all of that's just going to drop the woman out of the experience. And so what we're trying to do is create this new way of being where we can just be present and enjoy the moment and the pleasurable feelings. And there's no rush, no pressure on her to orgasm. Just let her enjoy. Even if you're a little bit sore, you know, like, oh, I'm fine. It's okay. We can take a break and come back to it later.
Yeah, like I advise everyone or invite everyone to like drop that end goal of orgasm and be in pleasure. Like, how can we have pleasure and pleasure and pleasure? Orgasm will eventually come as an icing on the cake, right? The cherry on top. But pleasure is what you are seeking in the experience.
Yeah.
Another question. How do women respond to you when you tell them about your Tantra practice and then when they experience it? How do your lovers respond to you when you tell them about your super lover skills?
Yeah, women love it. It's an important part of my life now. And when I was first trying it out, you know, women didn't understand what I was doing. They didn't quite get it. Like, and, you know, and so we have to be comfortable with that and understand that we're here to support them. But then now, yeah, it opens up a lot when we can speak about it now and speak about it openly. And if I'm just like confident and secure in my sexuality and that this is a part of my life, then it opens up and turns the women on too, to go, oh, wow, like here's this guy talking about this thing that society has all these stories around. And all of a sudden they feel more sexually comfortable. They can share, and it's a huge turn on. Yeah.
That's a great question, actually. And what coming up for me is less talking, more doing. If you have your personal Tantra practice and you know, like you've been doing this for a while, show it to me, you know?
Yeah.
I want to see it. I want to see it. And I tend to not, you know, kind of trust all these words, you know, if they're not supported by the actual practice, by the actual action. You know, walk your talk, so to speak, right?
Yeah. And that's it, because Tantra's not just for the bedroom, just for sex. It's about transforming ourselves. So
yeah,
talking about it is great, but the woman should be able to feel it from you beforehand. There should be that energy tension. Yeah. This man is like making eye contact with me and he's present. I can feel him already. And yeah, so they'll feel it.
Cool. Yeah, true. And another question. Are you able to have multiple orgasms with a partner? If so, when you get to the edge, how do you stop from ejaculating and having an orgasm? Because with self-pleasure, you know when to slow down or stop. So how does that work with a partner? Because she doesn't know when to slow down and stop exactly how you need to not ejaculate. That's so true.
That's so true, yeah.
I can't reply to that question.
No, it's funny, you know, like the woman wants to keep going and she's screaming, don't stop, don't stop. And we have to just kind of take control of the situation ourselves. And it doesn't mean an end to anything. That could just be, you know, if we're in penetration, it's just pausing penetration. You can just be inside the woman and just give yourself that moment to pause the physical stimulation. And that's just the breathing. And that's connecting from all that fire that was down in our penis and testicles, and bringing that up, and now breathing it up to either to the top of our head or our heart, or moving throughout our body. And so that's how we stop. That's the gateway. So when we start playing with that and breathing and moving, then the energy, instead of going out, it goes elsewhere and it circulates. And then then you'll still be hard, but it won't be right on that edge again, just like you said with the self-pleasure. And what's so cool is from that place of like pausing the physical sensation and being still inside, the woman can and will still go crazy. It's almost like a slingshot. Like the physical motion stops, but that's when actually things start kicking in and moving even more. So
there's an energetic like kind of like residue from like all that bang 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 penetration. There's like a residue that's there, and it's like it's felt if you like really allow yourself to be present and slow down, and not like be like, why did you stop? Like not be in your head, or the man is like, oh, like I should keep going. So
don't worry about stopping. And then so when you pause, like let your body move, like let yourself undulate and feel, and start to create these like more wiggly sensations. So the more you learn to use your muscles and tendons and tissue to break that up, the more you'll flow, and then you'll be paused inside, and she'll be flowing with you as well and enjoying yourself.
Wow. So magical. Okay, we do not have any more questions. Cool. No more questions. That was awesome. I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you so much. And if any of you gentlemen want to watch it, it's going to be in this group. Watch it later, watch part of it, and ask questions later. Please feel free. Austin will answer them. I will answer them. And if like both of us, we're both working with men, we're both doing this work one-on-one coaching, like, and if any one of you is curious and wants to work either with me or with Austin, please feel free to reach out. I believe Austin has like a really cool offering that he's doing right now. If you come from this group, and if you watch this video, right? Am I right? You can receive a discount on your sessions with Austin. Austin, post your maybe website or something at the end of this in the comments.
Yeah, sure.
So they can reach you. And any man in this group, this is an invitation. If you want to like do this fun 1 hour, 30-minute to 1 hour chat with me on whatever it is that you'd like, either you asking me questions, or there's something that you have that you want to like chat about, and you want me to like ask you questions about specific work you're doing around sexuality. Maybe you're also a coach, or really well versed in the topics of intimacy and relationship and sexuality. So it's of value for the entire group, to all men. And it's fun for me. I really love doing this. Thank you, Austin. Do you have anything more to add, to say?
Just want to say, thank you, Iryna, for hosting me and for talking about all this cool stuff. And to all the guys out there, I'm so happy I got to share my journey, and let's talk and discover more. I've been through all the blocks, and I'd be happy to help support you all. So thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing and questions, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, be safe and healthy out there.
You too.
Bye.